We're now being joined by the Vice President, Africa Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet, and that's Carol Koij, joins us from Nairobi. Hi, Carol. Good morning. Good to see you virtually now, even though I saw you physically there in Rabat.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, and you? So welcome. So we
Thank
had
you.
a conversation about following up on all the sessions and all. Energy seems to stand out, and we know that the Mission 300 initiated by the World Bank, but supported by a whole lot of bodies. I believe yours is part of it. How far have you gone electrifying Africa? And pardon me if I'm a bit more sensitive about Nigeria.
So I think the progress is good. If you look at the latest report from the World Bank, the outcome is showing that actually for the last 15 months or so since Mission 300 was launched, that the rate of electrification is 1.5 times faster than it's been. And so far, based on the latest report, and there's actually a portal that this is shared, 32 million Africans have been connected. This is, as I think, a report that was released around September of this year. So that number is increasing every day.
So where's Nigeria in this?
So you know that Nigeria is part of the Mission 300 countries. Nigeria was actually one of the first cohort of countries that joined. And there's a lot of progress that has been made in Nigeria. Nigeria has already established what we call a Compact Delivery and Monitoring Unit, abbreviated as CDMUs. And there's lots of things happening from a reforms perspective that we are tracking. And also, as the Global Energy Alliance, we are involved in a lot of demonstration and pilot projects, such as the interconnected mini grids. But also, we have several other projects that are ongoing in different parts of Nigeria.
Mm. The mini grid sounds really interesting. I believe you did mention when we met a project that you're taking up in Abuja also.
Yes, yes, the one in Wuse Market.
Yeah.
This has actually been developed and built by GBE projects. And like I mentioned to you, I would encourage you to actually go and look at it. This is a project that has been able to provide reliable electricity to the Wuse Market traders. And most of them now have reliable power. So this is a concept called interconnected mini grids, or in short, IMG.
Mm. So during one of the sessions, this talk about energy and all, a Nigerian who was in one of the panels talked about the challenge of tariff or well, service reflective tariff, and that's a challenge, and there are some obligations that have been left unmet even at this time. In your interaction, assuming it's just Wuse Market, what's your experience with Nigerians when it comes to taking care of their obligations and tariffs?
So I think the reality is that many people in Nigeria that do not have reliable electricity supply are already paying a lot, especially if they're running generators, either powered by diesel or also petrol. And when they do get a cost reflective tariff that's coming from renewable energy sources, it usually is cheaper than what they're spending on electricity by using diesel. So I think the Wuse market is a very good example because even though the tariff is slightly higher, it is also providing a reliable supply over a longer period of time. Unlike, in the past when they were using the grid purely without any support, that, they would get not so much reliable power. So I think it's a trade-off between a cost that's not necessarily reflective of the cost of production vis-a-vis reliability.
So, how soon or how far away is it to replicate what we have in Wuse market in other major, assuming it's just markets, that will really help. Or if we could have it in processing zones for manufacturers.
This is actually a good question, and I must, say that I'm not very much close to the detail, but I know that there's a lot of projects in the pipeline that are using this model. So what we did in Wuse Market was a pilot to demonstrate that this was a model that could actually be replicated. And so many developers now are actually developing a number of projects in the hundreds in different parts of Nigeria. So this is coming and coming soon.
Yeah, but sometimes the issue in Nigeria is things are not really coordinated. So if you have everybody doing their thing, I wonder, is GAP, are you working with the government in the area of coordination, or do you just sell the idea and the model and you expect, whoever can to take it up?
So we do both. We do support governments. Part of our work we are doing with the CDMUs is actually supporting the governments to resource those structures, the CDMUs, to provide the necessary skills that the government requires and doesn't have. On the other hand, we also try to support the private sector to play. So we kind of act as a bridge between the government and the private sector. And yes, the answer is yes from a coordination perspective, because if you think about the CDMU, the role of the CDMU is actually to coordinate the implementing agencies of Mission 300. So indirectly, you could say we are playing that role by supporting the CDMU.
Outside Nigeria now, I learned Kenya is doing really well in this area of energy security.
I mean, Kenya is one of those countries that is privileged and also blessed in a way, because a lot of their power supply from Kenya is coming from renewable energy sources. So of course we do have the hydropower, but also Kenya is unique in that it has geothermal power, and geothermal power is able to provide baseload. And so that makes the grid today, I think they're dispatching almost 93% renewable energy. And the reliability is a lot better in Kenya for sure.
All right, thank you so much, Vice President, Africa Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet, Carol Coach, for your time and the work you're doing in Nigeria. I hope you get to my neighborhood soon. I live in Lagos.
I will make sure.
I live in Lagos.
Thank you.
All right, Carol, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, bye.